Good morning and welcome to the Elevate Renatus team call. My name is Keely. I am your host today. We've got a wonderful training in store. Today is Wealth Wednesday and it's September 23rd. Our quote of the day is, "The more positive energy you put out, the more you will get back." A couple of dates to take note of. We have our Renatus Regionals coming up October 23rd and 24th. Our theme is I Am the Solution. So get your calendars marked for October 23rd and 24th for a couple of full days of fantastic training. And we also have dates for our national conference, which will be happening March 18th through the 20th, 2021. This will be an online event. Nationals in the past have been an absolute blast. We had our nationals online this year, and it turned out to be really, really, really great. I was very impressed. So I'm looking forward to our conference coming up in 2021. Mark your calendar. The theme this year is shifting higher into focused transformation. We also have our dates for a leaders retreat. That will be next year. We're going to Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. Very excited for that. We'll be going August 13th through the 17th, 2021. Feel free to get a screenshot of this for our events. This usually doesn't change unless I add on a Saturday event. So yesterday we had a really great Profits intro with Michael at noon. And tonight we have our English house tour. So every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Mountain Time, we do a virtual house tour, and it's also in person as well if you're in Salt Lake City. For those of you not in Salt Lake City, or maybe not wanting to, be around people right now, then we are offering this online, which is really great. I've been taking advantage of it here in Phoenix, and it's been a great exposure for all of my guests. So we'll see you tonight at the house tour. Looking forward to it. In order to do this, make sure to always register yourself in Helios, and then to access the event, you'll go to teamelevateusa.com. Thursday nights, we have a lot going on. So the next several slides will be all happening on Thursday night at 7 p.m. Mountain Time in separate breakout rooms in Zoom. So on Thursday, we do a house tour in Spanish. And again, that's at 7 p.m. alongside our Pillars of Wealth presentation, also Thursday at 7. We also have our follow-up and funding workshop Thursday at 7. We're doing an onboarding class that's both for new students as well as guests. If you have some guests who just want to learn a little bit more, they've maybe seen a few events already, but are just needing another exposure, an onboarding class would be a great opportunity for them. And we also have multiple study groups happening built around real estate. So every Thursday, we're doing a fix and flip study group, again at 7 p.m. We're doing multifamily, a short-term rental, wholesaling, as well as essentials in both English and Spanish, and a business development study group. So again, lots going on Thursday night. If you haven't been plugging in, we'd love to have you there. Again, make sure to register in Helios, and then on the calendar in Helios, you'll see the website, but the website is teamelevateusa.com, and that's how you access each of these events every Thursday. So we do record these morning calls. We're on both Facebook as well as YouTube, two places that you definitely want to get plugged into. The Facebook page has a lot of important announcements there. And also where you can find these lives, you can find the recordings. So if you miss one, you can go back and check that Facebook page, type in Take Off Tuesday, Wealth Wednesday, whichever day you missed, and you should be able to find all of these lives on that Facebook page. And then also we record and put them on YouTube. So we have at least 5 years worth of these recordings on YouTube, so much value. And then a couple other things I wanted to mention. Starting next week, along with our morning call from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Mountain Time, just like we're doing here today, following this call for 30 minutes will be a mastermind built around real estate. So that's going to be very exciting. It'll be a separate call, a separate dial-in. We'll make sure to provide you with all the information. And then starting this week, we are adding on Fridays to our morning calls. For the last several years, it's been Monday through Thursday. And so just recently we decided to add on Fridays. We're going to be learning from Lily Puertas, and I'm very, very much looking forward to spending the mornings with Lily. She's had some great success. All righty, so as of right now, we have 48 participants on the line. Make sure you reach out to your team. We do not want any ICMs left behind. Today, we get to learn from Daine Clark. Daine Clark has created a lot of success in this business, both in real estate as well as marketing. We're very fortunate to get to learn from Daine. He spends an hour with us each and every Wednesday morning on Wealth Wednesday to share with us what's been working for him. Before Renatus, Daine was working 2 jobs. He was working at Apple, and actually he was in the back, kind of shy, not the best at talking to people at the time. And so instead of on the sales floor selling phones, he was in the back counting phones. And at the same time, he was also a roofer. His father was a roofer, and that's how he fell into that. But with red hair, fair skin, being in the sun all day was not his cup of tea. So at the time, Daine was barely making ends meet, and he knew that he needed to make a change. So he was looking into real estate investing opportunities, and he found Renatus. He watched his education, listened to his mentors, and started to apply what he was learning. He applied velocity banking, and that enabled him to position himself to make a down payment on a duplex where he lived in one side of the duplex, rented out the other side. If we fast forward to today, Daine has now raised over $14 million from investors to lend on various real estate transactions. And his secret to that is frequency and consistency. He has grown his team and is recognized by our CEO as a key leader. He is on the PIT team, meaning he is in training to be on the PAC, the President's Advisory Council. And like I said earlier, we are very, very fortunate to get to learn from Daine this morning. I'm excited for what he has to share with us. Good morning, Daine.
Good morning, Keely. Thank you so much for that. I actually just broke the $15 million put to work. We picked up 9 properties this month. Yeah, crazy.
Wow.
Record month for us this month. Super blessed. Grateful for Renatus, grateful for Bob Snyder, grateful for all of you guys, grateful for, Renatus family. Oh my gosh, not possible without this community right here. So I think my camera's got a little smudge on it because it looks like I'm a little bit blurred out. I look a little bit better there. But good morning, guys. Excited to get into it today. Got some good stuff for us. As always, it's funny, I always think about you guys throughout the week. And I'm always like, oh my God, I know I'll experience things. It's like, oh my gosh, everybody needs to know this. That's totally worked and totally, I tried something new and yeah, so excited to share with you guys today. Let's go ahead, and you guys know the drill. Go ahead and share with me how many people were you able to communicate with, get to an event, get to an intro, get to a house tour, get to, intensive this week, intensive on Saturday this week, get to a follow-up, one-on-one, share a video, any of that good stuff. And so, let's see, let me read some of these comments. Let's see, what did you say, Keely? The comments are that you're an essentials holder to attend essentials and AIT to attend many other real estate. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, love that. Cool. Ooh, let me count my own really fast because I want to hold myself just as accountable. So let's see, 1, 2. Oh, no, that was a real estate one. So 1, had a couple of cancellations on Monday. So let's go back. 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 one-on-ones. Let's see. Yep, 5 one-on-ones. 5 one-on-ones. Had 2 cancel this week. Kind of a bummer. Oh, did I lose you guys? Did my Zoom crap out? Can you guys still hear me?
But I can't see you.
Here, let me restart my Zoom real fast. Oh, there we are. All right, let's come back to this. Reopen Zoom. All right, and I'm back. Oh, you know what though? I'm connected on my phone. Here, let's see what happens if I on audio. Can you guys still hear me just as good?
Yes.
Because if I reconnect my phone, it's going to be a minute. It's going to be a good minute until I. All right.
Sound great.
Cool. So I had 5 one-on-ones. Let's go to comments. Whoops. Comments in the chat. Oh man, because my Zoom crapped out, I don't get to see everybody. Keely, do you want to give people some love?
Yes, I'd be happy to. Okay, so we have Esther with 3.
All right.
Keely with 3, Laureen 1, Anne 5, Sherry Wallace 1, Isaac 1 follow-up today, awesome. Diana Torres has 1, Autumn 1 conversation, Kim 3, Scott 19. Holy cow, that's awesome. Charbel has 2, Gilda 6 on the intro, Doug 2, Alvin 3, Anna 1 essentials closed, congratulations.
Great
and
job.
1 one-on-one. Scarlett had 2, Pete talked to 8, showed drive cards to 3. John and Jill 3 conversations, 2 on intro. David Rainey 1 non-active member agree to come back, not my ICM, cool. Jeffrey 0, that's a goose egg. It's always great to report those, right, Daine?
Yes. Good. The success gods are going to appreciate your honesty, and they'll watch what happens in the next 7 days. You're going to attract somebody to you to have a conversation. It's so crazy how this works. For every single person I have ever brought into Renatus, myself included, actually, I had no idea that this is how it was going to turn out. I had no idea that they were going to jump on and be like, oh my gosh, I have to have this. I need to be a part of this, right? It took me like a month, I feel like, until I was like, yeah, let's do this. But eventually, I mean, and you never know. You never know. It's so much fun. You know, I see a couple of comments on here, and people are talking about, let's see, like Bobby said, 16 conversations. Like, to me, it is all in becoming that detective and figuring out where these people want to go when you start that conversation. Oh, I love it. Absolutely love it. But yeah, keep on going, Keely.
Okay, Kai has 1, Berta 2, David McIntyre 3, Sue, oh, congratulations, Daine, says Sue. Carla, 13 guests, 11 one-on-ones. Wow, that's awesome. Helped a teammate close a profit sale and closed 1 essentials personally this morning. Dang, that's awesome, Carla.
Already?
Yeah.
Congrats.
Okay.
I like woke up just for this.
I know, me too. That's awesome, Carla. Congratulations. And Bobby, 16 conversations, a family of 14 on Zoom. Awesome. And 2 others. Sue had 3 one-on-ones. Anne had 5 from James Leaves. Pete says if Jane can do it. Mike says 1, Teresa 1, and LaShawn 3 one-on-ones, 2 velocity, 2 intro, and newest ICM paid off her education. That's great.
Nice.
That's always exciting.
That's so fun. You got a check coming in the mail. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
You're good. Last one. Sandra has 3.
Sandra. Good job, everybody. Cool. Well, what's next? You know who you are. Whoever it is that has a story that they want to tell that got them stuck, created the deer in the headlights.
Daine, I got one.
Effect.
This is
where
Charles
something said something, you're just like,
so,
what's up, Charles?
I actually was talking to this guy at the park, and I got his information, sent him the videos, and then he went and told one of his friends about it. So he contacted me. I was talking to his friends. I got him the videos, and I sent him the briefing and intro. Mike was, well, I guess they took the thing where they showed the prices out because I didn't see it in there when I went back through, and he asked me, does it cost anything? So I went through the follow-up and seen that it showed it. I sent him the link to the follow-up, and then he says, I already watched that. I was like, okay, so I'll see you at the call, because I scheduled three-way call with both of them, with Michael. And I'm like, so what do I say now? Because he said he already watched the follow-up. He's still asking me if it cost anything. So
Um, so I get that one every once in a while. Somebody will watch a video and they're like, so this is costing them. Like, dude, did you actually watch the video? Right? Because if I'm hearing you correctly, you're telling me that he watched it. It does say the price, but he just didn't catch it. Is that right?
well, no, I sent him the briefing and the intro, and then the intro didn't have the prices in it, so I sent him the follow-up, which has the prices and the funding strategies. But then he said I already watched that, so I'm thinking he just confused it with the intro. is my guess.
Yeah, I mean, if that's a simple nuance, I would just say like, oh no, this one's different. This one is the follow-up. This, or the follow-up. This is the one where he goes through all of the different ways that people can work with us. Yeah, like don't overcomplicate that one. If he made a simple mistake, just be like, oh, sorry, this one's different.
Okay.
And maybe, I mean, one thing I always do is like, oh, sorry, did I send you that one first? Well, this is the one that has all of the information that you're looking for. And I would even maybe do him an extra solid and be like, and if you want, you can go straight to like minute 37. And that's where he really starts getting into it on how people can work with us. So that way he's like, for sure, he's like, oh, okay, cool. If I just fast forward to minute 37, then that's when Michael really starts talking about those things to work with us. Because then it's like, he can't argue with you. You know what I mean? You remove that aspect, or you remove the ability for him to argue with you and be like, oh, I already watched that one. Because you could like, no, he talks about what you're looking for in minute. I don't know when he talks about it in that one, but find it. Give him a little extra customer service, if you will, and just
Right.
share with him when he starts talking about that, so then he can fast forward. That's what I would do.
Sounds good.
Cool.
Thanks,
Cool.
Daine.
We got time for another one. If anybody else has a quick question or wants some help, or you got a story, and yeah, anything. If not, I got stuff. I always got stuff.
I have
Yeah,
a
if not, I got
question.
stuff. Yes.
It's Sue.
Sue, what's up?
I was talking to a friend of mine at work. I'm doing a temp job right now, and she's a meat cutter, and she's been doing this for a while, and she's got her money in the union savings or whatever, and it's not quite a 401k or something. And so I talked to her one-on-one, and we had this good conversation. I was asking her what her passion is. I did that whole conversation with her. And she said she's always wanted to open her own restaurant because she loves to cook. So I started talking to her about the self-directed information and what she could possibly do with that. And I didn't happen to have my phone with me. So I gave her my phone number. And then all of a sudden now I haven't seen her for the last couple of days, but she could be off. And so I'm like, now what do I do when I do? And I should have had my phone with me, but I gave her my phone number. And she hasn't contacted me yet. I don't know what to do now.
Oh, so you don't know how to contact her. Oh, do you know her name?
I
Do you know
mean,
her
yeah,
full name?
I know her name and I know where she works. I mean, I
First and
do
last?
come in contact with her, but she's been off the last
Facebook?
couple of days. I don't have her last name.
Yeah.
At least I don't
Do you have
remember what
Facebook?
it is. Yes, I do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm not a private detective, so I don't know how it's.
Well, I mean,
Unless.
I'll see her at work. I'll see her at
Okay.
work again. But so I mean, so that's not a problem. I just don't know how to approach it next.
Oh, I see. How do you reopen the conversation?
Exactly.
Cool. Here, let me give you a little hint. This is what I do, and it works every time. Every time. So when you have the conversation and they're like, oh yeah, that sounds great, and then for some reason it drifts, most people get scared and they do this little bit of like head talkie, right? There's some talkie inside the head of like, oh, they're not interested. False.
You
People
mean
get
her?
busy.
Oh,
Yeah, no, with you, right?
Oh, okay.
With you, or I should say the ICM, right? Because you're different, right? You're going to be different. But yeah, most ICMs will have that head talk of, oh man, they didn't call me, they're not interested, right? And
exactly.
so for one, I overcome that by just choosing to believe everybody needs
Renatus.
and everybody wants it. They just don't know it
Right.
yet, right?
Right.
So that's the first thing. But the second thing, because then when you approach them the second time, if you have that belief in your mind, then they're going to feel it and they're going to be like, oh no, I wasn't really interested in that. But if you approach her this second time, especially the way she's going to be like, oh man, like, yeah, you're right. Am I breaking up?
Yeah, you're breaking up.
Are you with me? Everybody with me?
Break up a little bit, but it always catches up. So I've been able to hear what you're saying.
Cool.
But it is a little spotty.
Okay, cool. Yeah, let me know, and if I do need to reconnect to my phone, I will. So all right, Sue, here's what I would do. I would pick a story from somebody, and then the next time you see her, it's going to be just like you see a good friend. And I mean, I just did this the other day. Actually, yesterday. I just did this yesterday, right? Where it's totally natural, right? Everybody does this anyway, totally naturally. Where I spoke to a friend and he's like, hey, you know, how's it going? Whatever. And he's like, how was your birthday? Right? It was my birthday this weekend. And like instantly, like my brain popped up. I was like, oh my gosh, I got to tell you something, right? And I proceeded to tell him how I got. Am I breaking up again?
You're coming back. You're coming back.
We got it.
You came back.
Okay.
You came back.
Okay, cool. Yeah, stop me if that keeps happening. But anyway, so I proceeded to tell him how I was like, I actually I bought a never been fishing. I sat there and proceeded to tell him how I was like, I wanted to try some really unique type of fishing. So I bought a crossbow. And I retrofitted it with a fishing reel, right? And so can you see my excitement here? This is what, and I caught a fish, guys, and I totally cooked it and ate it. Caught it with a crossbow. It's like freaking amazing. The coolest thing ever. I'm going to do that again. That was for sure. Or that's for sure. But anyway, so
what kind of fish?
It was a brown trout. So
nice.
Totally shot him right out of the water and reeled him in.
Anyways.
But so when you approach your friend, you're gonna have some kind of a story, and you're gonna have some excitement, right? And let me ask you this, Sue: are you excited about real estate investing? Are you excited about real estate stories?
Tons excited.
Very much. And you like stories, right? Success stories.
I love stories.
So you're gonna go to this friend, and you're gonna tell her a story, and you're gonna give her that excitement, right? About anything else that you would tell her that you're excited about. You're gonna match that, right? And so, I mean, you do you, of course. Don't like try to be somebody you're not, but whatever you show excitement as, show that. Maybe like a little step above, but you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, I just saw a real estate investor buddy bust out how they, and then you tell a story, right? You can pull stories from the classes about IRAs and stuff like that, pulling IRAs and 401ks and investing in real estate. And then you even say like, oh my gosh, have you considered doing the McDonald's effect, right? And I love this one, right? So yeah, you're tilting your head. This is good.
Yeah,
this is good.
I'm like, I want to hear
McDonald's
this.
effect,
I want to hear this. Yes.
Right. And if you look at the McDonald's model of restaurants, yes, they do have the best, most juicy, awesomest tasting hamburgers on the planet, right? No,
Yeah.
but they do sell the most. They do sell more
Yeah.
hamburgers than any other company on the planet. But the McDonald's effect is this. Don't let the fishing game catch you. Oh yeah, you're right. The McDonald's effect is that McDonald's owns the real estate for which they put all of their restaurants on. And so
Okay.
you basically if she says, I want to own a restaurant, then you figure out a way to connect real estate investing to restaurant, right? That's what we do as ICMs. We just connect whatever they want to real estate. And so when you connect her restaurant to the McDonald's effect, owning the real estate beneath her restaurant, and you can talk about how that is just so much smarter. You will make so much more money, right? So here's your story, right? You can say, oh, I just saw a real estate investor break down how they started a business like that and they owned the real estate. I had the opportunity to talk to the person who was the son of the person that ran their business in their own real estate. And when this gentleman's father died, not only did they sell the business, or he sold the business, but he kept the real estate and he passed the real estate on to his children. And his children got paid for 15 years.
Wow.
Cash flow
Oh my
from
God.
somebody else running the business. And they got that benefit. And so not only was this man more wealthy, but he also passed on a legacy.
She'll love that.
He owned the real estate.
No, you know why? Because she talks about her son. I mean, I've been talking to this woman for weeks and just getting to know her. And she talks about her son and what he's doing and what she wants to do for him. You know, just leave him the house, this type of stuff. So this is, oh my gosh, you hit the nail on the head, Daine. Perfect.
Right? And that's what I do every day. I have a conversation with somebody and then I wait for them to trigger a story in my mind. And then I get excited, like, oh my gosh, I got to tell you about this. And whatever it is. Right.
Yeah.
And so I'm always remembering stories. I'm always looking for more stories because I mean, I have listened to so many stories nowadays that I will talk to any person. I mean, I kid you not. I've mastered this over the last few years just because I wanted to, right? Take note on that. I only mastered it because I wanted to. And so every single person I talk to, no matter what they say, I can pull a story out of thin air that's true. That's the key. I can pull a story out of thin air that's true and be like, holy cow, I think that you might want to do something like what this person did, right? And so, yeah, you know what you're going to do when you see her?
Yes,
Oh my
I
gosh,
do.
right?
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
I've been waiting to talk to you, Debbie. I can't wait to tell you the story.
Yep.
Now I
when
just
you
got to
meet her
figure
like
out
that,
a good story. I got to figure out a good story.
tell her
though.
the one I just told you. Tell her the one I just told you.
I want to show you something too, baby.
Oh,
Oops. Hello? Did I lose you?
tell her the one that I just told you.
Okay.
You can reuse that story, right? It's not
Okay.
trademarked. It's not even my story. I just
Oh,
pulled
it's
that from
not?
somebody I
Oh.
talked to like a month ago.
Oh, okay.
I could see you writing a book.
Remember the guy's
Stories
name.
told by Daine.
I can't even remember the fella's name that told me that story. It doesn't matter. The key is that I can inspire her to help her reach her goal and her dream, right? Awesome. Great job. Thank you, Sue. There's a lot of people that really appreciated that you said that, because people need to hear stuff like that, right? This is what I do. This is how I make all my money. I start a conversation and I listen and I listen and I listen. And the moment they say something, oh my gosh, I got to tell you about somebody that was like you. This is what they did. And it connects that to real estate. And then I'm like, I think we should have a conversation about this, right? I should connect you to people like that. But yes, Pete, you're right. It does have to be carp, or I can't remember what the other one is. But yeah. So, all right, moving on. Let me share my screen, and let's bam. Cool. So I got something I want to share with you guys today, and it's this. And not necessarily related to what Sue brought us into, but that was good. That was really good. Thank you, Sue. It's so much fun, and I hope you guys understand why I love to have somebody ask a question like that, because oftentimes, like, I don't even think that, oh man, people need to know this, because I have what's called what do they call that? It's called the curse of knowledge. When you know something and you just do it every day, sometimes it's hard to it's hard to be like, oh my gosh, everybody needs to know this, because for some it's like, oh, this is what's the word I'm thinking of? Common sense, right? Oh, this is just how it works. So this is so perfect that Sue brought that out, and because again, somebody needed to hear that. But can you guys still see my screen if I start drawing right here?
Yes.
Perfect. So I was given a charge about a month and a half ago to put together a little TED Talk and do a presentation for a group of people. I think there's going to be about 50 people there. None of them were Renata students. You know, this was just a friend that I had made. He was doing a 3-day seminar for personal development, and he's like, "Hey, Daine, can you put together a little TED Talk and share with the group?" And it was interesting because he told me, he's like, "Daine, I know you are very passionate and excited about real estate. So if I tell you that you have to speak and you can talk about no real estate," he's like, I'm gonna be mean and ask you this question. If you were not allowed to talk about real estate in this little TED Talk, what would you talk about?" And it was interesting because I was like, oh, I hate you. No, I don't hate anybody, but that's what I'm super passionate about talking about. I love talking about investing in real estate. But I started thinking, okay, what could I do? And so I started rattling off some things, and I was like, oh, I could talk about this, and I could talk about time management. I could talk about, and then I said systems, and he goes, tell me more. And so it was interesting because what posed the question, it sat there and caused my mind to search for, well, what else am I passionate about? And all in all, he's like, Daine, I want you to talk about systems. What, can you give me an outline of what you might talk about, right? So I want to share with you guys seriously, I prepared for this. Hours. I sat down and I spent hours in preparing this, and I spoke with my wife, numbers of hours in putting this together. And here is what I want to share with you guys, right? I feel like this was one of the keys to my success and not only in my marriage, but also starting my real estate business, selling Renatas, as well as making offers on real estate, right? So check this out. As I started thinking about systems, and I wasn't allowed to talk about real estate, it made me think, you know what? If you guys have ever heard this concept that the most important work that you will ever do is going to be within the walls of your own home, right? Within the walls of your own home, within the walls, right? And so as I'm thinking about this, and I'm talking about systems, or I'm thinking about systems, the most important work within the walls of your own home, it made me think. It made me think about how I was able to create a system. And right, and when I say system, right, basically, in my opinion, a system is anything that saves you stress, time, energy, and money, right? So saves you stress, time, energy, and money. And as I started thinking about this, and if you own the prophets in through Renatus, there's a class in there called automation taught by Eric Counts. And in that class, he talks about the definition of a system. And this actually changed my definition on its head, because I always thought that systems were like software, programs, computers, automation, right? But a system can be as simple as when somebody says A, I say B, because now you have a system and you have already done the thinking first, right? Basically, to do a system that saves you stress, or create a system that saves you stress, time, energy, and money, you do the thinking up front, to where you never have to think about it again. You've already done the thinking, where if this happens, then this is how we react. This is how we respond. This is how we, this is what we say, okay? That's a system. And it's awesome because it can empower you to, it can empower you to go out and talk to more people. It can empower you to go out and make more offers. It can empower you to go out and put yourself out there in a place where you are in your current situation uncomfortable, right? And so when you do the thinking up front, you just know, right? So let's use Sue's example, right? I've got a system of, I listen, and the moment a story pops into my head that will relate to what the person is talking about, that where the story is designed to help that person, I tell the story. And I ask them if that sounds like something that they would want to duplicate, right? To me, that's a system. Okay, but let's talk about this, right? Most important is going to be within the walls of your own home, right? And so not only did this quote come across my mind, but the second one of, you guys ever heard this one? How you do one thing is how you do all things, right? You guys heard that one before? How you do one thing is how you do all things. And so as I'm thinking about this, right? A system is designed to save you stress, time, energy, and money. The most important work that you will do is going to be within the walls of your own home. And how you do one thing is how you do all things, right? It was so interesting that this is where my mind went, because this guy's like, you're not allowed to talk about real estate, right? And so I'm sitting there like, okay, can't talk about that. And here's what I was able to uncover: that the concept of the most important work will be within the walls of your own home, and creating success in your life, and how you do one thing is how you do all things. I was like, oh my gosh, when I made a decision, right? Not when I tried to become, or not when I became, or anything like that. When I made the decision, that was the important key. That was the important change in my life. It all came down to when I made the decision. When I made the decision that I wanted to systematize everything in my life, inside of my home, inside of my marriage, inside of raising children, inside of yard care, inside of budgeting within the walls of my own home, how my wife and I resolve conflict, right? Anybody here that's married, they know that you don't always see it the same way as the person that you live with. right? And so if I create a system, and I decided that I would do that within the walls of my own home, and it was cool because my wife was on board. I noticed that how you do one thing is how you do all things. And as I became a better and better systematizer within my home, it carried over into my business. I remember creating systems inside of my home, right? Let me give you guys an example. I should have taken a picture of this, but that's all right. You guys can just imagine it. My wife and I, so here's the thing, and I actually shared this in the TED Talk, and it was so funny. I was so worried that people were going to think it was kind of dumb. Again, because I wasn't allowed to talk about real estate, and to me, real estate's cool, and you tell the stories of people making money. But check this out. My wife and I put together a system around the fact that I very much dislike, let's say hate, actually. I hate dirty dishes. I hate dirty dishes. I hate them in the sink. I hate them in the dishwasher. I do not like, I feel like green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam. I do not like dirty dishes, right? I hate it. It's like, bugs me. I love to have a nice, clean sink, dishwasher all the time. Never have I had that in my life. And so my wife and I sat down again in this light of creating systems, because the most important work that you'll ever do is within the walls of your own home, and how you do one thing is how you do all things. And so my wife and I sat down, and I kid you not, this was 2 years ago. I feel like this is when my business really started kicking off. My wife and I sat down and said, how can we solve this problem of never having dirty dishes in the sink or in the dishwasher ever? And we did it. We sat down, we figured it out, because again, we both agreed that the most important work you'll do is within the walls of your own home, and how you do one thing is how you do all things. And so we're going to make a system. We're going to save ourselves stress, time, energy, and money. One of those or all of those doesn't matter. And so check this out. My wife and I have it set up so we've got our little sink, right? We've got the thing that sprays the water out, what they call that, the spigot or whatever, the faucet. Okay, we got the faucet, right? And so what we designed, and here's the dishwasher. What we designed, this is so simple, right? And I'll tell you how this actually manifested itself in my real estate business. Okay, but so one of the things we did was we went on Amazon, because we're like, all right, how do we never have dirty dishes? Well, we're gonna have to wash them as we use them. And so we went and we purchased on Amazon, it was like $20, maybe $15, one of those little things that has a battery powered soap dispenser, where it has like a little eye that's like looking down all the time. And then we have our little dish brush that hangs right here. So dish brush, whatever. And so every single time, if I'm going to eat a bowl of cereal, if I'm going to use a plate and a fork and a knife or whatever, that I'm left-handed, and so it's on the left, and this is on the right, right? Again, systems. This to me, this is a system, because it's like, hey, we do this every time. And so I turn on the water, and literally takes me 26 seconds to hold it under the dish dispenser, or the soap dispenser that's automatic because it's battery powered and spits out soap. And then you wash the plate, you wash the fork, you wash the knife. And then what we did was build a template dishwasher setup, where we actually only run our dishwasher like once a month. Once a month, we run our dishwasher. That's it. And we keep that kitchen spick and span, looks like a model kitchen nearly 24/7. Because in this template dishwasher we have, there's basically 4 people in our family that use plates. So guess what? We have 4 plates. We have 4 bowls. We have 4 spoons. We have 4 forks. We have 2 knives. We have 4 cups. We have 2 bibs because 2 people in our family need those. There's 2 bibs that go, and we got the ones that you can just wash them off really fast and put them right back. So we've got this template, right, of these things that we use most commonly. And yeah, it changes every now and again, like, oh, let's change the template, right? And so we do this, literally takes 26 seconds. When I'm done eating whatever I am eating, using a plate, a bowl, a fork, a spoon, a knife, it doesn't matter. 26 seconds to wash it real fast using the soap and the dish brush thing, and you put the brush right back because it goes right there conveniently on the little hook, right? Whatever. I think you guys are picking up what I'm putting down, and maybe some of you are like, "Dang, tell me more. I need this. I need no more dirty dishes in my life," right? Right. If that's not you, I'll move on. Okay. We've done this now for a year and a half, 2 years, and here's how it carried over to my business. As again, how you do one thing is how you do all things. As this started carrying over into my professional life of creating a template, right? A boilerplate conversation with a prospect, right? The conversation always changes, but the bones are the same. I'm going to tell them a story, and I'm going to say, like, hey, would you want to duplicate that? Would you want to do something like that, right? Or even say, like, hey, and if the story is related to me specifically, then I'll say, yeah, I actually helped somebody do this or do that, or get a $100,000 HELOC, right? Whatever it is, wherever the conversation goes. Okay. Also in my real estate, using just the idea of building a template that everybody's like, all right, here is how it goes. And when we're done, everything looks like this, right? And so here, let me just show you guys the back end of my real estate business. Okay. And so when we're closing deals, my assistant and I have this folder where we have our incoming deals. And so here's all the deals that we are about to close on. And so we've got this template that says, all right, every single deal we close, we need purchase docs, right? This is just a blank folder, but we know, and my assistant knows, and all the people that work for me know that we need purchase docs. We need the numbers, right? And they know what that means. They know that means we need to build this and we need to build that, and we got to show, the numbers, right? They know what that means. And they know if this is empty, then they got to do some work, right? I want to see the rental analysis. And I follow Brian Sump that says you should never buy a house unless you've got plan B, C, D, and E. And in essence, right, we'll never buy a house that we could not turn into a rental. Worst case, right? We'll never flip any house that we couldn't do that. Okay. And so we got the rental, we got the property report from the title company. We need the wire instructions. We need the lender docs. We need the settlement statement. We need the borrower signed docs. We need insurance, right? And then when the deal's done, we need the recorded docs on public record. Okay. And so my assistant knows, in fact, here, let me show you this deal. Let's see how he's doing on this one that we're working on. Okay, so here's one that he's been building out that we're closing on next week. And so he doesn't have the purchase docs. So my assistant knows that he's going to have to find that, right? The numbers, let's see, he's already built this out. Okay, so the numbers, this is what it means. Okay, so you guys see what I'm saying? Like template, just like we put together that little dishwasher where we got 4 plates and 4 bowls. My assistant knows that if this is blank on every single deal, he needs to build out, and he built this whole thing. It's awesome that it's, this is automation, right? Yeah, this is a human that's running this, but he just knows, and that's a system. Okay, and so concept is this: how you do one thing is how you do all things. Start looking within the walls of your own home and start asking yourself, right? It's like, in fact, here's the phrase. Start asking yourself, what sucks? and then start asking yourself, like, and then start telling yourself, you know what? Let's build a system where we do all the thinking up front. Do all the thinking up front so that you never have to think about it again. It's just, bam, this is how it works every single time. You know what's crazy? You even create systems like the dishwasher thing. I mean, it probably doesn't save us any money. I don't know. It's neither here nor there, but it does save us stress, time, and energy. I tell you, that saves me so much stress, time, because every time, you know, coming home from work or whatever, I see that in the little home, that saves me time.
You're breaking up a little bit,
Think
Daine.
about things like, what else are we going to do to grow? Who else can I talk to today to have that conversation to help them get closer to finding out that they need Renatus, right? And so my charge for you guys is this: as you go about your day and you are within the walls of your own home, the moment you
Daine, we can't hear you. Daine, can you hear me? Hang tight, my friends. I'm sure he'll be right back. That was so good. Those were his final thoughts, too.
Of course, that's always the case, right? The finale.
Yes. Yeah, his connection was good up until the very end there.
Right, yeah.
Again, I think if we hang tight for just a minute here, he'll hop back on and close it out. So
I know
He's
it
put another
happened to me.
quarter in his iPhone.
I know it happened to me. I think it was last week that was that last week or was that this week? Anyway, oh no, I think it was this week. No, last week. I think it was like Thursday or, yeah, it was Thursday, because I was asking Wanda what it was. All of a sudden, I was like totally, Comcast had a problem in our area. So I had to connect to my hotspots, from my phone, so I could get back to our meeting.
mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it's out of our hands.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So, yeah. Well, at least, he made it just about, it's 10
Mhm.
o'clock. So,
I know. Where are you, Gilda? What state are you in?
Illinois.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's 8 a.m. here in Phoenix.
Yeah, it's 10 o'clock here now.
Mm-hmm.
And yet
Yeah,
we
and
don't
it's
quit.
early.
We find a way around it.
That's right. Well,
Yeah.
let's see.
Well, it's past the hour.
Yeah, but I was hoping he'd come back on and at least finish his thoughts. I don't want to end it like that, but if we need to, I will. I'm going to just text him real fast.
Or maybe you can just call him and just, conference call his, or like a speaker phone, so he can give us his final thought.
That's a good idea, actually.
Don't even put any paint on there. Actually, Daine doesn't have a final thought. He has continuing thoughts.
Hey, Dan.
I just realized I've been talking for like, I don't know how long, but I don't think I'm in the Zoom anymore.
No, we lost you a couple minutes ago.
When did I cut out?
Oh, somebody help me out.
Yeah, it was right when you were talking about the system where look
Oh,
for.
is the Zoom still on?
Yeah, people are
Yeah,
giving me
he
some
had pictures
feedback.
of
1
real
second.
estate.
Here, let me see if I can go back.
Yeah, aerial picture of a house was the last thing I saw.
The picture of a house was the last thing we saw,
From the air, the aerial like Google.
like an aerial picture.
Picture of a house.
Or a property, something from the air. It was like you showed us your Google system or iOS system or something.
I don't remember seeing that, Pete. I remember he was just drawing for us.
Yeah, I don't even remember seeing that.
Shoot, well,
He
I'll
was
tell you what.
showing us the
Somebody
property.
give me a vote. And if you guys want me to revisit this next week, because let's see, I remember talking a lot more. Or let me actually, I can't see the comments. Yeah, somebody come off of mute and help me.
The last thing that I remember you saying, Daine, is figure out what sucks.
Okay, cool. So I was just about wrapping up. Cool. So we got
Something about templates.
Talking to his team about needing the numbers.
to revisit this next week and let's go deeper into this topic.
Yes, I vote yes.
Cool. Okay, sounds good. We'll revisit this since we're past the top of the hour. I'll make sure that I'm not sure what happened. I wonder if my internet or something like that went down or yeah. So, but yeah, I'll figure it out next week.
Okay.
But yeah, how you do one thing is how you do all things.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that no dirty dishes because I do not like dirty dishes on the sink in the sink.
Cool.
Thanks, Daine.
Cool. Sounds good, guys. Love you all. Have a great rest of your Wealth Wednesday.
Yeah. Thank you, Daine. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Dane.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everybody.
This was
Thank
good.
you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.
See you later.
See ya.
Bye, everyone. Have a great Wealth Wednesday.
You too, Keely. Thank you so much.